Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Brittany, and we've got a lively one today on cannabis policy and how it's moving markets.
And I'm Allison. Thanks for tuning in. And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai and we'll get to them.
So, quick snapshot. Lawmakers and voters are nudging several states closer to bigger legal markets. And that's the kind of news that actually changes revenue opportunities for operators. Pretty exciting.
Totally. Virginia moved another step toward legal adult sales. Hawaii is setting up a task force to study therapeutic psychedelics. And polls in places like Florida and Massachusetts are showing solid voter backing. That all matters for demand.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, the real question here is, what actually happens to market share when a new retail market opens? Do big multi-state operators seize it? Do local players hold their ground?
Exactly. Operators with existing retail footprints or patient networks in neighboring states will have an edge. If Virginia finalizes a bill, licensing rounds could accelerate, and we might see more mergers and acquisitions.
Investors should watch companies that already have grown out retail teams. Curaleaf, Tilray Brands, Trulieve, and Green Thumb Industries are names people will be tracking. And there's that sector ETF that follows multi-state operators. Flows into it can tell you when sentiment is shifting. One timing note. If Virginia passes a bill, licensed retail sales could start within months, but full market normalization usually takes 1 to 2 years. So don't expect overnight miracles, but the runway is meaningful.
Right, and implementation details matter. Licensing caps, tax rates, and who gets priority for stores can tell outcomes towards some operators and away from others. So it's not just a yes or no vote.
Also worth flagging, Hawaii's move isn't about recreational use. It's a task force studying medical access to things like psilocybin and MDMA for therapy. That expands the investable opportunity beyond classic cannabis products.
Which connects to partnerships between public companies and research groups. New therapeutic avenues could become additional product lines, licensing revenue, or even buyout targets down the road.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by how quickly psychedelics policy is advancing in some states. It feels like a two-track story now. Adult use cannabis on one hand, regulated therapeutic psychedelics on the other.
Interesting.
On the ballot front, polls are showing support in Florida and resistance to repeal in Massachusetts, which is encouraging. And Alaska's talking about swapping a $50 per ounce cultivator tax for a 6% consumer sales tax. That kind of tax reform can really improve operator margins.
Right. Lower taxes at cultivation or smarter tax structures at retail can turn marginal operators into profitable ones pretty quickly. It's not sexy, but it matters a lot to cash flow.
Now, a fast-growing piece of the puzzle: hemp-derived THC beverages. They're moving into big venues and getting attention from beverage companies and, predictably, alcohol lobbyists.
And regulators are still all over the place on this. Some states will treat them like alcohol, others will take different approaches. That patchwork means brands might be able to scale quickly in some places and face headwinds in others.
Which means if federal or state guidance starts to clarify hemp THC rules, we could see a rapid consumer market open up for branded beverages. And that would be a big win for consumer product companies. So what should investors actually do? Be selective. Favor companies with retail scale, solid balance sheets, and proven compliance teams. The winners will be those who can move fast on licenses and stay out of regulatory trouble.
And if you're into thematic exposure, psychedelics or hemp beverages, know those probably need a longer investment horizon. They're momentum stories, but with execution and regulatory risk.
Also watch for near-term catalysts: Virginia's vote and the licensing details, outcome of Florida's signature fights and any court rulings, Alaska's tax bill progress, and any federal or state guidance on hemp drinks. Plus, corporate events, earnings or guidance from Curaleaf, Tilray Brands, Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries will move stock-level action.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, quick takeaways. Policy momentum is a net positive for longer-term demand. Tax fixes and regulatory clarity can change profitability fast, and psychedelic initiatives broaden the sector's addressable market.
And shorter takeaways for traders. Stay nimble. You might see sharp moves when votes happen or court rulings come down, so manage position sizes and be ready to act on confirmed outcomes.
All right, let's wrap up. Key points in a nutshell?
Policy wins and polls are pushing demand prospects higher. Tax and licensing details will determine who benefits.
Companies with retail scale, clean compliance, and flexible balance sheets are best positioned.
And emerging themes, hemp, THC beverages, and psychedelics, are interesting but need patience and regulatory clarity.
Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us anything and we'll answer live. And while you're there, check out more market content.
Thanks for listening. I'm Allison.
And I'm Brittany. See you next time on Alpha Insights.